All right, this is the lesson plan for week 1, which is the same as class 1 for 3rd grade. This is their first day coming in. I would say at least more than half, probably more than 3/4 of the kids are familiar with Megamath. They are returning students. They're probably excited to be here, and some of them will even bring their old bags from a previous year or from the summer program. But there will be some new kids, and it's important that we make them feel welcome and comfortable, especially around the kids who are already so comfortable here. So the kids will come in, and the binders and everything are already set up. They get all their new supplies today. And you can start by, we'll do introductions, kind of icebreakers. And we've got these name tags here, so that's always helpful. And then I will put a Sharpie pen out as well. I thought I already did, but I can't seem to find them now. And in 3rd grade, we don't let the kids really use the Sharpies because they're gonna get it on the table or on their clothes or something. They don't really usually have the control over the marker in the same way that the older kids do. And I'm always worried about them, maybe, I don't know, putting it in their mouth or something. So we actually use the Sharpie for them to help them write a name label. And then we could do introductions, your name, your school, your favorite food. And I realize that there are not, these don't have time on them, but we could say just 5 to 10 minutes for introductions, and then they're going to look through their binder. Speaking of, we are going to walk them through what is in their binder, as well as pass out the Megamath rules, which are in a pile here. So we're going to explain to them what's in their binder by saying, okay, in front of you is a binder where you are going to organize all your things. And the way the binder is formatted is they have a little sheet here that explains how to organize their binder. Now at this age, a lot of them are still just learning how to read. So this is a lot of text for them. So we can tell them, listen, you don't have to read everything because I'm going to tell you everything that you need to know. These are your supplies. All of these supplies are your own. You get to keep them forever to use at home because we want to teach you, or here, we want to teach them to have good organizational skills. And also, this in here is the chip bag, the plastic bag where they collect their chips, and we definitely want to make sure we get their names written on them because they might lose them. So there's that. And then we're going to tell them, these kids don't always know what a reference is. So we're going to tell them references are, what I say is they are worksheets or papers or documents that you can look at later to help you remember how to do something. And they usually have an example of how to do something. So they still might be confused, especially if they're new, what references are, but that's when we can also, that's where the assistant coach can also really step in and say, okay, this is help them place their references in the right place. And then this is their folder for extra credit and unfinished work. This is for work that they might want to do at home for chips. There's no required homework in Megamath, but they absolutely can do extra credit work and unfinished work. And we give 3 chips. Right now we give 3 chips per page for that, per completed page. And that's not if they have a perfect answer. All the answers are perfect. It is just if they completed the worksheet and tried on the questions. And then they get this. We like whiteboards and dry erase. And this is something they can take at home to help them. One side is blank, the other side has a grid. In the past, I've had the kids write their name on it, or we can walk around with a Sharpie and write their name on it. But generally they don't lose these actually. And then they've got they've got 2 dry erase markers and a dry erase eraser in there. So they have everything that they need, and we're going to encourage good organizational habits. And they want to bring their binder to class every week. And they have the bag that they can also keep it in. So that actually will take easily like 15, 20 minutes just to get through that. And then we're gonna go over the Mega Math rules. Again, these kids may or may not be okay with reading. We can ask them if they want to read a rule, or we can read the rules to them and ask them to give a thumbs up if it makes sense to them, or give an example of, like, I might say, okay, like rule number 1, show up to class on time and remember your supplies for each class. Number 4, raise your hand to speak. Do not interrupt others when they are speaking. Sometimes with kids this age, I say, give an example of what it feels like when you're interrupted. And, we ask the kids, we want to really be interactive and not just talking at them. We want to really engage them constantly through the 90-minute class. And then we want to emphasize about being respectful and not playing with toys unless they purchase them, and having a good attitude, and yada yada. And then I've added some common sense rules. We want to tell them that we care about the environment, so we do recycle here. And so they are expected to put any papers that they're throwing away in recycling. We want to tell them not to throw away. So there's no food allowed in Mega Math, but they are allowed to bring in beverages that have lids. And the only thing is that if they go to a nearby, place and they get something with a lid, then if they want to throw that cup away, they need to empty out the liquid first, either in the sink or outside or whatever. But it's just not fair to the people who take out the trash, including me, to have cups filled with liquid. We want to tell them that we put chip amounts, like the amount of prizes is the amount of prizes. We don't negotiate, and we don't want them to ask for a cheaper price, or we will make those decisions as coaches, but chances are if they negotiate or ask for a price change, they'll get a stop card, which I'll explain what that is, or they won't get the prize at all. And we really don't like complaining about the games. Usually we don't actually get complaints about the games, but once in a while there will be a kid who either doesn't want to play, and that's fine. They don't have to play if they don't want to. And usually we can just give them a tangram or some other activity, or they can work on worksheets. But if they complain, say, oh, can we do this game instead? I don't like this game. That's really not having a good attitude. We can teach them, like, you can express your opinion using your words by saying, is it possible to play a different game? Like, they can ask without complaining. Part of what we do here indirectly is really teach good social skills and good manners. So labeling, will just be done. I already said we'll do it beforehand, but you could also do it now. And then for this first day in class, they are going to get some worksheets. They may not get around to any of them, but they may get around to some. So what they get in their packet is they are going to get a reference. So that is their very first reference, and we can remind them that a reference goes behind the paper that says reference. And this reference is to help them with place value. So if they see the number 12,430, then they can see, okay, the comma goes here, and they can put 12430, and this will help them know place value. So that's just a reference. The next paper that they are going to get is sort of a review of place value. We may need to walk around and help kids who need help with reading. We don't want them to be scared off by the reading. And so we can tell them, listen, do you want us to we're always happy as coaches to do a worksheet with you. It's been a long summer break, and it's possible you may have forgotten things, and that is okay. That's why we're here as coaches. We're here specifically to help you and coach you. And so part of why we do these review worksheets is to get a sense of where the kids are. These kids all go to different schools. They've all had different teachers who move at different paces. So these are more just basically place value worksheets. And then we emphasize addition facts, mostly in second grade, but going into third grade, it's not just some kids going to say, oh, this is easy, 5 + 1 is 6, duh. But what we want to tell them, first of all, we don't like it when they say that. And we're going to remind them, like, if you think it's easy, keep that thought to yourself, because it may not be easy for someone else. Or if someone says, I know this so easy or something like that, I said, well, then I usually say to them, I expect a perfect paper from you with no mistakes. And I also expect you to help others who may need help. And so, but what we want is fluency. We want addition facts fluency, meaning if I say what's 6 plus 5, they can say the answer is 11 in under 4 seconds. And we want to build them toward that. And so they only get a few worksheets, and then we're going to explain what logic is. Logic is a special worksheet. It is the only worksheet that to earn the 5 chips that you get for logic, is it 5 chips or is it 10 chips? I don't even remember. Oh my gosh, I don't remember. Well, I think it's 5 chips. So we'll do 5 chips. And if they get the logic right, they get the 5 chips. But if they get it wrong, this is the only thing that they have to get right. And you'd be surprised, kids really, really love the logic. And typically what we do with logic and extra credit, which is just more place value practice, is we separate the logic. And so what we'll do is we will first hand out just the worksheets. And then you'll see over here, there's a separate packet that we hand out really before or after the games, really at the end of class, because we want them to take it home as optional homework. These are the logic and extra credit packets that we hand out later. Okay, and then, so we do that, and then there may or may not be time for a game, but Wonder Avocado is super popular. And the explanation of how to play that, let me think. How do we play Wonder Avocado? There's a song that goes along with it, and it's one of those things that you kind of do, I guess, learn on the job. But we play Wonder Avocado, and I have a printout of the questions that we can ask them. Usually I stuff it into the stuffed animal and they just pull one out, but I also just have the questions if you want to just ask them, because sometimes the questions fall out of the stuffed animal. And then forget number 10. We're not going to pass out the addition work because that's actually for 2nd grade. This is 3rd grade. So third grade, they're going to start working on multiplication facts. So we'll hand that out. And they're going to get some tools to help them with multiplication facts. Not this week, but soon, because we started pretty early here in Mega Math. That's it. That's it for 3rd grade. It's going to be a fun time, fun day, and we really just want them to get excited about the program after day 1, and that's it.